Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Angry TV with me, Angry Britain, off the Twitter. It's taken me 4 takes to get that right, which is down here. Right, today's unboxing is the GA-110SS Street Spirit series. It's one of the, I think there's 5 watches available, and this is just the one that kind of stood out to me. So, as you know, I'm a stickler for packaging and I like a bit of nice packaging, so it was quite nice to unbox this and see just this kind of cool black carton with a shiny G-Shock logo on the top there. Stop focusing on my face and focus on the box, you stupid bloody thing. Right, there you go, that's better. Right, so you've got this shiny black logo on the top of the box, which is kind of nice, and it's just, you know, different. I like different, I'm all about different. Anyway, right, so let's have a look and see what's in here. So, opening the top, you have the usual manuals and warranty card, which I have never ever looked at, not once in 3 years. Get rid of that. Undo this fella. Now this is really neat. This was quite, oh blimey, when it arrived. So there's the tin. How about that? It's just very, very cool. It's like a very cool kind of graffiti design, which is really nice. Might look white on the camera. It's actually like a creamy colour, which is pretty different, pretty unusual. So you've got that kind of going the whole way around the tin. The top of the tin looks like that. This is one of the sort of, I tend to find this with the limited edition ones, that the tins are a little bit larger, and they just feel a bit nicer, a bit nicer to touch and a bit nicer to hold. But to get that popping out of a black box was really quite smart. I thought that was neat. So anyway, the watch in here, there was a reason I particularly chose this one. Now I don't know why, perhaps it's my age, but it kind of reminded me of David Bowie's face on that album cover, that iconic album cover. It isn't, obviously, it's nothing like that, but it just, I think it was kind of like the pink and the sort of bluey hues. It just popped and I went, oh yeah. Now, this is my first GA-110, and I've got to say, I really think that's smart. It's just nice to have something different in my collection. I've got lots of squares, I've got lots of octagons, I've got lots of sort of mud mastery style like this. So it's nice to actually have a different model in my collection. So as you can see from the design, the graffiti theme goes all the way through it. Now there are 5 of these in lots of different kind of styles. I think there's a couple of squares and there's a king as well. But this was just the one that kind of stood out to me, and I just wouldn't collect the rest of them. Most of them are overpriced. The king is 190, the octagon's 290. It's just they're silly money. But this was quite reasonable. I think this was 169, 149. This one, I'll put the price in the comments. But I kind of liked it. I like the size of it. I like the colours. The colours are kind of appealing. You get the stainless steel keeper with G-Shock engraved on it. The back is sort of fairly standard stuff, but the buttons are all, they kind of mix in with the design depending on where the design falls. And the face is kind of like a nice silvery colour with some pink highlights. Let's see if we can get that focused in. There you go, that's perfect. You've got a negative LCD, which is just ridiculous and you can't read it, but do you really care? On one of these I use the hands, don't know about you, so the display's irrelevant really. Functionality wise, I think we've got, what have we got? Stopwatch, timer, date, world time, alarms, and there's lots of stuff moving and bits and bobs like that. But you know, all of these, I don't know about you, but as a G-Shock fan, I just don't really use the functionality. I just don't. I tell the time with it. I might occasionally set a timer or time something, but it's pretty rare. Now, where's the light on this? That's interesting. It doesn't appear to be a light button. Have a look at that. Now, I'd be very, very surprised if a GA-110 doesn't have a light. Now, what have we got here? Let's have a look. Got adjust. No. Just doesn't work. Reverse. Ah, there you go, reverse. That's obvious, not. So this button here, there you go, get that focused again. It's not going to work. You get some horrible orange light which doesn't really go with this watch and its colourway at all. Surely that should be pink or blue or bright white, not mediocre yellow. So that's the light on it, which is hidden away under reverse, just in case you can't find yours. And yeah, there you go. So I've set the timer going. There's lots of stuff happening. I just don't even care. Don't even care about the functionality. Not bothered. But it's a really nice, again, it's a really nice piece. Now, if you look at it closely, it looks a bit like it's kind of stained with tea. But I guess it's kind of like a marbling effect. And actually, obviously, I've had a quick look at this watch when it arrived, but I've not really noticed that. So on my one, I've got like a kind of like a smudge. Well, it looks like a smudge there. It looks like a dirty mark, but actually, it's not. It's this kind of marbling effect. So I'm not entirely sure if I like that, because it sort of messes up the overall look of it. But it's still a really nice piece. But it does look, if you look at it closely, it does look a bit like it's dirty already, and it isn't, because it's brand new out of the box. Not sure about that design element. Perhaps that's it. Perhaps that's the point. Perhaps it's because it's a street series or Street Spirit series. It's supposed to look a bit bashed up and a bit dirty and a bit like you've been rolling around the gutter with with your mates on a Friday night. But I still like it. I still think it's a cool watch. So let's have a look and see what it looks like on. I've got my trusty GGB-100 on today. This thing, as you know, if you follow this channel, this is my go-to G. I wear this so much. If you're even thinking about buying one of these, don't even think about it. Just go and buy it. You won't regret it. Fabulous watch. So let's whip that off. We'll put this one on. There you go. Getting that on there like that. And this is what it looks like on the wrist. So it's not huge. Yeah. Oh look, I didn't notice that. There you go. 1983 on the bottom there, which is obviously how long G-Shock have been around. What's that, 20... my maths isn't very good. A long time, anyway, so it's there. Isn't it? We're coming up for 40 years, aren't we, next year? So there should be some quite cool releases coming out. Time to start saving your pennies, folks. But it's quite big. Let's have a look and see how big it is compared to my GGB. It's not as big as a GGB, but it's pretty much as deep as a GGB. So yeah, not quite as wide, but definitely is deep. I mean, it feels quite substantial. It feels nice actually. It feels like quite a nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. Is it comfortable? I have to adjust it a bit. Let's have a look. Adjust that mildly. Is it going to bother you when you're bending your wrist? Not especially. It's just cool. It's just a cool watch. It's a very, very, very cool watch. And I think of all of them, this is the coolest one. Go off and have a look at the rest, see what you think. But the rest are a bit meh. And there's a couple of squares that are identical, different prices, and they're just a bit meh. This one, wicked. Like it. Stands out, pops like that. So let's do a little pocket. See what it looks like in the pocket. Yeah, that works. So not massive. I've got wrists that are about 7.5 inches. 12 inches if I was talking to my wife, but there you go. So that's it. That is the GA-110SS Street Spirit limited edition series. I think that is cool. This is the reason, these sorts of watches are the reason that I've started focusing more on limited edition stuff. It's just awesome. It pops. It's an interesting piece. It's something cool that your mate's going to go, oh, where'd you get that from? It's really neat. I like that. Or they're going to go, what is that on your wrist? But either way, it's going to become a talking point. And this is the whole point. For me, this is what collecting G-Shock is all about. It's these really cool, standout pieces that pop and are interesting. And even at my age, 50, I can carry that off. I mean, God, I've got a Stranger Things t-shirt on today. I can carry watches like this off any day. It's just a lot more interesting than something like that. And I was getting very close to having a display case full of black and grey watches that weren't limited edition. And that's what I didn't want. So, pop! There it is. So, thanks for watching this review. If you like this sort of stuff, obviously subscribe, hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of the next ones. And I will see you soon for another G-Shock review. There are a few coming. See you next time.